One of the arguments used in moral theology is an argument called the wedge argument. The wedge argument is if you get your foot in the door, eventually you're going to be able to kick that door wide open. We go back to the middle 60s when we talk about the whole artificial birth control question in the Catholic Church. And the reality is that the early birth control pills were abortifacient. High levels of estrogen that kept the uterine walls pliable enough, didn't prevent conception, just prevented gestation. That became widely accepted. And so the door was kicked open gradually. It's now wide open. We went from the contraception, artificial contraception, to legalized abortion. Part of legalized abortion, we have the new RU486 pill, which is a morning after, which basically goes in and kills whatever may be living. And now recently, in a journal of medical ethics, there was a professor who is from Oxford University, the School of Practical Ethics, who has published an article saying that wherever abortions are legal, then after birth abortions should be made legal. A healthy baby born should be allowed to be killed because newborn babies are morally irrelevant, citing the fact that newborn babies do not have a quality of life except that which they are dependent upon. And also citing, since there is no quality of life, they're not being robbed of anything other than life. And since they're morally irrelevant, then we should be able to kill newborn healthy babies. I don't know what to say about that. I don't know what to say. You know, several years ago, the Reuters, probably 10 years ago now, there's a guy who was a dog breeder. And he bred animals for a living. And he had a dog that obviously something got over the fence. And when the puppies were born, they were, all 12 of them, they were not purebred, therefore not able to be sold. And so the owner decided, I'm not going to feed animals that I can't make money off of. So he tied up the mother, and he went and buried the 12 puppies alive. They kept the mother tied up for 24 hours and then let the mother go. The mother sniffed it out, found where they had buried her puppies, and dug up and saved 11 of her own puppies. Even in the animal kingdom, a mother doesn't kill her own. And we are thinking that we have evolved as a society because when this particular professor issued this statement, and he had a blogosphere, and he said that fanatics threatened him because they oppose the very values of a liberal society. You can call it liberal, whatever the hell you want. That's not liberal. That's inhuman. Because animals don't even kill their own. But then if we talk about moral relevance as a basis for killing an unborn baby, then what about someone who's born with physical or mental handicaps? And they have to be totally cared for. They're irrelevant. What about elderly? They're now confined to a nursing home. What about people who've had accidents and they're now quadriplegics or even paraplegics? And their, quote, relevance or contribution or, quote, quality of life is of little essence. See, this is what happens when a society looks at human life for utilitarian purposes and no longer looks at human life as made in the image and likeness of God with a soul that will last in the presence of God for all eternity. And if you say you believe in God, And if you say you believe that humans have souls that are bound for God, then there's no way you can ever call this ethical. You know, I mean, if this guy was Joseph Mengele from Nazi Germany and tried to experiment on the great race, even Joseph Mengele didn't pass off himself as an ethicist, someone who believed in the ethics and the practice of medicine. The wedge argument has happened. The door is swung wide open. And after they allow parents to kill their own, then when are we going to say the government can choose who's going to kill? It is so dangerous. It is so frightening. And there's so many people out there who are letting it go. If you find yourself, and if you're young now and think, well, this doesn't bother me because I'm going to keep my babies, well, honey, hold on to your hat. Because when you hit over the age of 65, they may not let you live anymore. Our government, health care, may not pay for you to have any procedures. Think you're past your sell-by date, and they'll let you go. It's so dangerous. And it's not going to get better until people like yourself and myself decide we're not going to take it anymore. The devaluation of human life to the point that we're no longer made in the image and likeness of God and we're strictly utilitarian beings is criminal, and it's crucial that we do something. Please don't fall asleep on this now, because if you do, you will live to regret it. God bless you. Thanks for being here.